This is the exact process that I go through every day of my life to show up and getting growth on 7 million of assets.
Today's guest is going to drop all of her multi-millionaire secrets. She is Michelle Rule, the Millionaire Maker.
I am a self-made multi-millionaire. I'm an investor, so I've done all this while raising kids.
Michelle is an incredible client of mine, and I have watched her over the past 6 months build her personal brand from literally zero.
Wealth doesn't grow without intention. You don't just wake up one day and have wealth behind you. Cash, yes, might come in and money comes in, and that's great, but wealth is intentional.
So we're going to be diving into how she's went from 30K in debt to over 7 million in assets in less than 10 years.
I was emotionally, spiritually burnt out, thinking money wasn't for me because I was just racking up these credit card debts. I was done. I thought I was done with money. If you have a business, what a superpower that is. Your business is a vehicle to generate beautiful cash whilst doing what you love. You're in a position where your income is limitless. Now, what we do with the income is the important part.
If you're done playing small, looking at everyone else building their empires, then you better listen up. Michelle Rule, welcome to Unstoppable Success.
Thank you so much, Jess. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We're going to get into all things wealth because you are the absolute queen at building your wealth, attracting money, and all of the good stuff. But before we get into it, I want to hear your most unapologetic brag, because I am truly done with women playing small, dimming their lights, feeling like we have to make others feel comfortable about our success. So this is our space to brag really, really big. So give me the whole damn list.
All right, let's go. So I am a self-made multi-millionaire. I have built and scaled an IT company with my husband over the last 13 to 14 years. I'm an investor. I have 5 investment properties and plans to buy plenty more. I love buying assets. I'm a mum of 2, so I've done all this while raising kids. And essentially now I'm moving into my legacy hour, which is how do I give back and help women really build their wealth?
Oh my gosh, just a small list.
Just a small one.
Name a few. What's something you're really, really proud of that you've achieved recently?
Well, I would say recently, so I've just turned 41. So when I turned 40, I sort of came to the realization that I'd been building these businesses underground, quietly, behind the scenes, and really just a moment of stock take on my life and what I had accomplished. And I thought it's time to really step out from behind my desk and start to network with women. And I think through that process, I then found you, and I've launched into personal brand, wealth coaching. So I would say my most proudest achievement is the last 6 months moving into that space of helping women, and of course, bringing in 120K in sales contracts through the personal brand is amazing. But truly, it's the women that I have in my world that I wake up to every day and now get to support on their journey. It is the best feeling.
Oh, there is no better feeling than just doing that soul's work and just witnessing you launch this personal brand with an absolute fire up your butt to change women's lives is just so, so incredible. So I want to dive into how you have gone from 0 to 120K in sales contracts in just 6 months in a moment. But firstly, I want to dive into your wealth, because you have gone from 30K in debt to building over 7 million in assets.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to build that?
Honestly, looking back, and this is where I don't subscribe to traditional timelines. I don't think so. For me, my journey into wealth started when I had my first child. So I was 31. So that's really only 10 years ago, but I don't subscribe to it needing to take time. And this is where now I work with women and I get to show them how it does get to be easy, but we do intentionally need to build it, intentionally building wealth. So prior to 31, I was not actively trying to build it. So nothing happened. Cash would come in and cash would go out.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest thing maybe stopping women or holding women back from creating this wealth? Like traditionally, if we reverse maybe even 10 years ago or 50 years ago, women weren't even allowed to have a credit card. So what do you think now is the biggest thing stopping women from having more wealth?
So I truly believe, so for me, I was reflecting on this, and for the most part of my life, I didn't allow myself to have it, and I didn't ask for it. I didn't desire it. I didn't think it was, I would consider myself a spiritual person, a grounded person, and a good human. And I just didn't relate the two together. I thought perhaps if I asked for wealth, accumulated wealth, that I would change into somebody different, that I would become a greedy person.
Yes.
And the biggest lesson for me along this journey is that I haven't changed. If anything, I have just amplified the person that I always was. And now I have more choice. I have more ability to make impact and to support my community, support my kids, my family, take the damn trip, do the things that really light me up. So I think it's just allowing ourselves to have that and to ask for that. So that first step of feeling like you can absolutely ask for millions and you will still be you, just amplified.
Oh, I think it's so true. And I speak to women all the time on this as well, where they have this fear of sales in business or attracting the wealth because women, by nature, we're nurturers, we're caring, we pride ourselves on being great people, helpers. And for some reason, wealth has become synonymous with the absolute opposite of that narrative. And I think the work you do is so powerful because you're out here showing women that wealth can mean more good for you, your family, and just for the people in your world and the impact that you get to have. So if someone is currently maybe feeling like I haven't even realized that I wasn't allowing myself to have wealth, what would be that first tip or switch that they can make to start to get into the mindset?
Absolutely. And so this is one of the first things that I work on with women is really just to expand what they will even allow themselves to ask for. And so I like to say, just imagine. So just imagine you had that bank card, that bank account that you could just go about your life, tap the card all day. How would you move? What foundations would you open? What impact are you here to do on the world? And by just allowing yourself to realize that the more you have, the more you get to go out and paint the world with all of those beautiful colors versus thinking, I have this bank account, I can only do this, and it's a limiting lack mindset. So really the abundant mindset is imagine if you had all of the wealth, what would you do? And by really tapping them into realizing that they would create so much good on this planet, that is what I really have them linked to. As they attract it in, they get to then make that impact. And it's like a switch flicking for them. They're like, oh, okay, I see. It would be me with all of the wealth going out and doing good in the world. So let's claim that.
What would you just say to someone who's maybe thinking, okay, sounds good, but I kind of have enough. I don't need to ask for more. I don't need to strive for more. What would you say to them?
I would say there is a part of you deep down inside that just has been taught to settle. And it's okay if you've got dreams that are bigger than, yes, we are grateful. We are grateful. I'm grateful every day for everything that is in my life. But it is okay to say, you know what? I'm going to claim some more and just show people that you can still be this beautiful human and claim it. So I would say that women, if they just really searched and were honest with themselves, would realize that, yes, wealth does amplify your impact.
Yeah. So good. When I speak to women around income in business, a lot of the time what I find that belief is around is because they think they have to sacrifice. So I'm okay with this level of wealth because I like to spend time with my family or because I don't want to be stressed. And there's always a very logical reason why they don't need more. And it's to keep them safe. Have you ever come up against those beliefs yourself?
Absolutely, I have. Of course I have. But looking back, so now with the ability to purchase time that I didn't have before. So I have a beautiful house manager / assistant, sidekick. I have cleaners, gardeners, people to help with my home. Now, so if I look back to when I was raising my first baby and I was, we were starting out. We didn't have, I couldn't hire support. So it was me on my own running the companies, all of that. If I had just allowed myself to realize that wealth will then allow me to build a team of support around me, my assets right now, so I'm getting growth on 7 million of assets. And that grows whether I'm working or whether I'm asleep. And so having that growing in the background is not hustle. That is not hard. It is just a matter of actually understanding the strategy required to build the asset base and also allowing yourself energetically to say, yes, I'm ready for more and I'm okay to hold the millions.
Yes. So good. Okay. So you've gone from 30K in debt to 7 million in assets in around 10 years. Can you break down what that is? Because I think the more women have proximity and visibility around how women create wealth, what that's broken up into, I think it really normalizes it and it kind of makes it sound more attainable.
Sure.
Because sometimes people might hear 7 million. That's not possible for me. But I find when you kind of can see the insights and the inside of the inner workings of everything, it all of a sudden becomes simpler.
Yes.
So can you break down what is that broken down into and maybe even a little bit of how that built up?
Absolutely. And firstly, may I say, although 7 million might sound like a lot, I know a lot of people who have decamillions, centimillions. There are billionaires in our community. So I'm only here to be like on the level that I am. And I have big dreams and goals and I can see how the wealth is building in the background. So here I am today at this point, but everything is still growing. So we are still moving along.
Just the warm up.
Just the warm up lap. But so yes, it's not a I have this and you can't have this. So if we break it down, essentially when I was in debt. So I had 15K credit card debt in my early 20s. I was working in an advertising agency. It was my dream job. I was hustling out, but I was emotionally, spiritually burnt out, thinking money wasn't for me because I was just racking up these credit card debts. I never had enough at the end of the month to go around. And I was done. I thought I was done with money. But and also the 15K HEX debt. Okay, yes, we exit uni with all these degrees and we have the HEX debt. So now paid off the debts, obviously. We don't run credit card debts or have any personal loans. I have 5 investment properties. So I think the portfolio there is just over maybe 4.5 million. I love to leverage. And so for those of you listening who don't have investment properties, leverage is essentially a clever way to build your wealth by using investment debt to purchase an asset and then allowing that asset to grow in value whilst the leverage, the bank debt, is being paid down over time. So 30 years from now, they will all be paid off, but we are using that leverage to hold the asset. We also have things like shares and a bit of crypto. My husband loves the crypto. That's fine. I'm all about hedging your bets. You've got to be in all the things. And then, of course, the business. So, the multi-million-dollar IT company, we bring in 2.5 million in revenue, I think we did last year. But that is an asset that grows year after year. We've built and structured a team of A players, might I say. It's really important who you have in your company, that we're all on the same dream, vision, and all there for the same goals. So we've been doing about 20% per annum in growth. And so that is a machine that works whether I'm there or not. However, we are growing the company. So I do love to pop in and do the things. My husband's there, most of the time. That's his baby. So there's resale value if you wanted to sell it. But we're not selling that company.
No.
Why would you?
No.
So keeping that one. So we've got business, we've got shares and crypto and investment properties. Yeah, that's, a bit of everything.
Yeah. If someone's wanting to invest, how would you advise them to start? Because sometimes it'd be quite overwhelming, or they're kind of like, okay, do I do the house? Do I do the shares? Which one do they do first? And obviously you can't give exact advice, but what is the first step that someone could take?
So this is really important. And yes, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't need to be. There's so many amazing advisors, and I always set my clients up with a team around them for that support. But where I really come into play is I am the leader of my financial team. So I drive the ship.
Yes.
So I make the decisions where we're heading, and then I structure my team around me to purchase the assets, to make sure my insurances are all ticked and I've got my accountant checking all the tax. All you need your people around you, but we drive the ship. So I would say is really to have a net wealth plan. And I've created a net wealth tracker that I use for myself and my clients get copies, but understanding where your position is today. It's so empowering to write it all down. Yeah. Where are your assets? Where are your liabilities? So your assets are your properties, your liabilities are any investment loans or any debt that you have, and then find out your number. You need to know where you're starting. And then we map it out over time. We look for opportunity in your environment. So many women are sitting on a huge amount of equity that is just sitting there, sitting with a paid off mortgage. To me, that's opportunity. And if we can leverage that opportunity so that 10 years from now, you're now retiring with more millions than you would have without having had that discussion. Yeah. To me, that's, but you don't know what you don't know. So it's really about taking stock in where you are and then looking for opportunity with what you currently have. Now, if you don't have any property or any equity to leverage off, I literally say, open up a bank account today, call it invest, get an automatic transfer over to that account every single week. I love seeing those weekly, just add, and just vow never to touch it. And the way I look at this is that money is making you money. So the purpose of that money now, it goes in there and it grows week after week, year after year. When you are this age, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that money is earning you money in your sleep. If you can just keep filtering it in and never take it out. And when you've got enough, you buy an asset, but just start that automatic flow. So I don't look at these things. It's automatic out of my account.
Yeah, just start. I think that's the best advice.
Absolutely, yes.
What role do you feel like business has? Because if we look at the world's most wealthiest people, usually they've started with business. So how has that played in your career? But also, how do you see business being such a tool to wealth creation?
Oh, I love this. I love this question because honestly, business owners, if you have a business, what a superpower that is. It is a superpower. And so it's really about understanding that your business is a vehicle to generate beautiful cash whilst doing what you do, what you love. So you're in a position where if you're not on a set salary, you're in a position where your income is limitless. That is a superpower. So we absolutely invest in businesses as assets as well because they can generate a lot of income for you. And so that is incredible. Now, what we do with the income is the important part. So if we are just bringing in cash and we are using all of that cash and there's nothing left at the end of the day, then yes, you've created a successful business. Whether or not you can sell it at the end, is there an exit strategy? So it's good for business owners to think, am I working in the business? Can I sell this business if I am not in the room? Or does this business only operate with me in it? So there's different types of businesses. So my personal brand business would never operate without me. I don't need it to operate without me, but the IT company operates without me. So it's about understanding when we go into business what you are hoping to achieve through that. So, you're a woman on a mission and so am I. So I have no reason to be anywhere other than right here. Yeah. But if you are building a company to sell, then you really need to be thinking about that from the beginning. And then it's about filtering and being really smart with the cash that your business is making. So absolutely have a chat to your accountant, but there is all sorts of things you can do with your profits to make sure that that money is really working hard for you, that it's not just about earning it, but it's about placing it in really smart spots so that it can then grow your wealth in the background. And look, I say this about wealth. Wealth doesn't grow without intention. It doesn't. You don't just wake up one day and have wealth behind you. Cash, yes, might come in and money comes in and that's great, but wealth is intentional. So wealth is, I am making a decision about where to put it and now it's growing because I decided for it to grow. Yes.
So good. Okay, speaking of your personal brand. 6 months ago. 6 freaking months ago, you decided, okay, it is time to be Michelle Rule, the Millionaire Maker. And you have just catapulted your personal brand, not just scaling from 0 to over 120K in sales contracts, but the women's lives that you're impacting is huge. What sparked this fire inside that you were like, okay, now is the time for my legacy era?
Yeah, I think truly, I am a creative person and I am a deep thinker and it got to the point where I felt like I have something to offer here. And I was having conversation. I was going to networking events and speaking with women who were building these beautiful businesses but hadn't yet thought about their wealth or thought about the succession plan. Like, what is the long term? So where's the generational wealth, the financial freedom? Are we really, the minute we stop working, there's nothing there? To me, I was like, we need to have this bigger conversation. And so it was on my mind. And I thought, I need somebody to help me with this, because I really, truly feel like wealth creation has changed my life. And what a gift now to be able to, so thank you for meeting you and your help in really getting this message out there, and now being able to work with women. So, and even just this morning, a client, she reached out to say, we're well on our way to purchasing our first investment property. But it's not just the investment property now, because what will happen to her life now, that even if it's one, she might go to for more than one, but 10 years from now, she's added millions to her wealth. That goes to her children. And then she's teaching her kids how to invest, generational wealth. And that is change. So for me, I'm on a mission, but I would not have been able to do any of this without you and having expanders in my life. So you are the ultimate business expander. You truly are. And I'm so, so grateful for all of your help in getting this message out.
Yeah, honestly, it has been such an honor for me to just witness you on this mission, because you come in and you may have a challenge that lasts about 3 seconds. You come in, we game plan it up, shift the mindset, and then you go and take bold action. And I truly have worked with thousands of entrepreneurs over the years, and I could quite say you may be the fastest one. But what I think is really, really cool is, and what's been true in my own business journey, is fast action equals fast success. And oftentimes people can feel frustrated with a lack of results or a lack of success. And sometimes the journey does take a little bit longer than we want to. But oftentimes it's just because people are sitting in that procrastination or overwhelm, or seeing that challenge as a roadblock. But you kind of come in and you say, here's a roadblock. How do I climb over it? How do I get around it? And you take that bold, fast action. How do you do it? Can you bottle up some of that essence and wisdom for others to seize their success as well?
Yeah, let's do it. So was I always this way? Perhaps. Were there things that happened in my life that really hit home as to how limited our time is here? Yes. So prior to the birth of my son, we lost 5 family members in the space of 4 years. So, I mean, my nonna, my husband's mum, his dad, and both of his brothers. It was just this horrendous time. But also, I think we really need to be in touch with the fact that our time here isn't forever. It's limited. And so for me, I feel like the last thing I want is to get to the end of this beautiful gift of life and look back and say, I had an opportunity to really do something great with my life, and sit with that feeling of I didn't achieve it. And so for me, it's that constant knowing that seizing the opportunities when they come, and that momentum of when you get one opportunity, it leads to the next opportunity, leads to that. So really allowing the momentum and the energy of that bold action, that fast action, to open doors faster.
Yeah.
Faster than what you could even do yourself. So I think it's understanding that our time is absolutely limited, and getting really, really, serious about, well, what are you here to do? We're not here to play small, I don't believe. And I do believe we all have these unique gifts, skills, and talents. We do. And we know what they are. We just perhaps need a bit of support to birth them out into the world.
Yeah. I think, there's always going to be fears. There's always going to be limiting beliefs. There's always going to be discomfort, or even just growing pains when we're launching into a new space, or challenging ourselves, or getting out of our comfort zone. And it's doing it anyway, because we can wait all day until it feels comfortable or easy or zero resistance. But that doesn't mean you're playing to your potential. So I actually think, with a lot of ambitious women, and even for myself, I'm not afraid of failure.
Yes.
I'm afraid of, like you said, getting to the end of your life and realizing, oh, I still had potential. I had this little bit left that I could have given to the world, to just even reaching our goals as well. So find what lights you up.
Absolutely.
Find that real passion from a place of legacy, I think, but also just like, what do you love doing every day? You could talk about money all damn day. So finding that thing, what would you say to someone who maybe has this expertise or passion about something but hasn't gone all in on it? Maybe they're already building their business, but they know there's that little bit more to give.
You know, and even coming here today, and I was sharing with my clients, I give them behind the scenes every day. I want them to know exactly, like, I am human, and this is the exact process that I go through every day of my life to show up and step up in this way. And I break it down so that it's achievable for them. And even coming into this space here today, really, I would encourage them to think about the impact of them stepping up, showing up, speaking up, the ripple effect that might have to their environment, to their community, and really just following that path of excitement, like you say. To me, following the path of excitement, that is your gift right there. And I often hear this with clients when they start. They might come to me speaking about one thing, and then the next minute they're really excited talking about this other thing they're working on. And I'm like, that's the thing.
Yes.
That thing right there is what you need to be doing, and that needs to be out in the world. That is your gift. That is your gift that comes through you. It's a gift. And so then to think, it's my duty to share that with the world, because you just don't know who is out there that needs you, that needs your message, that needs your voice. And we just be brave. We go through it.
Sometimes being that leader means saying the things that everyone else is too afraid to say, or holding the judgment, or holding the eyes on you, and maybe saying the wrong thing sometimes. Have you ever felt like a fear of judgment, whether it was building your wealth, because that people decide you're a certain type of person, or they think you're wanky for driving a certain car. People have their own narratives. But I want to know more so around stepping into your personal brand, saying, I here am an expert. Because I think, again, a lot of women maybe hold back or don't allow themselves to be their truly unstoppable self because they think, oh, but I need to know more. I need to have more time, more certifications, more things. So what's come up for you over the years that someone might relate to?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, Michelle Rule, the Millionaire Maker. So there's going to be people that don't get it. And I honestly just have to hold my mission first. My mission is to help the women who do want to build wealth, generational wealth. And I just truly believe, because I know who I am as a person, and I believe I am a good human, and I know my intentions are pure, that I just have to let the judgments be. Perhaps they will judge you quickly and then eventually come around, or perhaps they won't. And that's okay. It is not my job to be loved by everybody, but it is my duty to help the women who want the help. And so I really just put them at the forefront of my mind. But yes, even stories about, you know, on this path. So going from very humble beginnings and then starting to be able to afford the nicer cars and feeling like I can't drive this car and park it out the front of the school. I don't want people to think a certain way about me. Yeah. And honestly, that is an exhausting way to live. You just can't do it. You have to just let them. If you know who you are and you know the mission you're on, just let it be. And half the time I do honestly think it's us over-worrying about what people might think. I actually think most people are just concerned with their own universe and their own life. So we just go on regardless.
Yeah, it's usually because we haven't truly owned that part. It's like, of course I've got this car because I wanted it, but there's part of us that still holds a level of embarrassment or aren't quite owning it. And I think when you can truly step into your power and own those things that you're worried that other people might see in you, there is so much in that. And it's really, I mean, you're showing up and showing your kids what's possible and building their confidence, I'm sure, by owning your own as well. So the ripple effects that come from owning your legacy, owning your message, owning your expertise are probably way beyond you even realizing, like beyond your circles, beyond your clients, beyond your friends, kids, like just the onlookers who probably never say anything, but you may just be shifting those small beliefs for them. It just brings me so much joy to even just think about the conversations that are out there because of you deciding to step into your power and own that and be able to hold the fear of judgment or rejection or all of these things that we often let stand in our way.
Yeah. And can I even just say, I've had people reach out to me through my Instagram, multi-million, like like built a lot more wealth than I have. And they have actually said, thank you. Thank you for showing up in all of your shininess. And I love this conversation. They are loving the conversation. They have, 5 times the amount of properties for me. I was speaking to a woman the other day who opened up an entire real estate agency because she had that many properties. And I was celebrating her so much, but she was celebrating me just in having the conversation. So the last thing we would want is for people to feel like they have to grow small and quietly and behind the scenes. We are allowed to show up and support each other. I truly feel like that does more good than harm, to just show up and show people what's possible.
So good. Okay. 2 final questions. Right. 1, what does being unstoppable mean to you?
To me, unstoppable it's that inner belief, and it's that inner purpose and that inner mission, and nothing will get in the way of me achieving that. So even my own ego, my own nerves, embarrassed, whatever it is, it's the mission comes first. And so that to me makes you unstoppable. So if you can truly just connect into what you are here to do, let your gift guide you, and that will make you truly unstoppable.
Yeah. And what is next? What is the big vision? Because I know you're just getting warmed up.
Just getting warmed up. Look, I've been so blessed to have speaking gigs fly my way. And so really I am here to speak up, to have this conversation for wealth for all women. I truly believe that when women claim their wealth, the world gets shinier and brighter. And it's so important to teach our kids this too. And so for me, you're going to be hearing a lot more about me. I'm trying to get the podcast set up, speaking. I'm not putting limits on this. This is Legacy Hour. So everybody buckle up, come follow me.
Get ready, because what you've achieved in 6 months, I can only imagine the next 6 months with this as your new baseline.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing all of your incredible wisdom and just honestly putting your mission out in the world. It's so, so powerful and helping so many incredible women. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Jess.